at least 1 in 5 people have a long-term illness, impairment or disability, while in the US, 26% of adults have some type of disability. So that's a lot of people, and a lot of people who'll be in the world of work or may have difficulties in the world of work.
2Lead is a remote-first company based out of Canada.
What makes a world-class Microsoft 365 intranet and digital workplace?
So what I thought I would do is highlight where some of the product gaps are at the moment that we keep seeing crop up, but highlighting it by those that do it well. So don't think badly of the vendors that I've shown here. They're actually quite some good examples of this. So the first one is analytics. These are generally disappointing and have been for years. I don't think that it's been a high scoring area in the reports even since before I took them over a couple of years ago. And analytics is one of those areas that is individual, so each business may very well want something different from it, and so some of the vendors, when we talk to them about what we're looking for from this particular scenario when we investigate it for our reports, is that, oh well, we work with our clients and we build it up, depends on what they need. But our argument back to that is there should be a better baseline. There are some consistent things that everybody wants to know, particularly internal communicators. There are things that you want to know, particularly about campaigns, how successful they are, the readership. You need to be able to make arguments about return on investment, all of those sorts of things. And we would expect those sorts of things to be developed more, as I say, for a baseline in products now. And staff-based is an example here of actually being done pretty well. There are different visual approaches to the data that's being shown. You can look at campaigns overall, so you can gather different groups of content together and see the performance overall. And you can interrogate the information, actually click down and find out more and actually figure out what it is you're looking for as you're exploring the results. And this is something that we hope that vendors will take inspiration from and hopefully develop a little bit over time. The second area is integrations. So integrations have developed over the years as APIs have been opened up. There have been a lot more opportunities for vendors to do interesting things. And Ecumena here on screen is one of the more interesting ones. So they have a variety of options that you can take, starting with what they call mission control, which is at the top of the screen there. So these are basically just launching out into different systems with single sign-on. So the user just goes, I want to open whatever it is, and it opens up in a separate tab, all logged in without any issues. What's nice about this, though, is that the user can tailor that list. They can choose additional ones. So if there's a core set that everybody will need in the business, that's great. But then the user can choose to add their own in there and add their bookmarks in there from a really nice library. And it all has these little icons. It's all very attractive. What else is interesting on this screenshot, though, is there are integrations directly on the page. Now, all of the ones here are all from Microsoft 365, which is an area, again, that has improved a lot over the years, but is still an area of weakness, particularly for independent internet products. So for those that don't have SharePoint at their heart, they can kind of stumble over those integrations a little bit. But this one that's being used here as an example, you can actually see content from integrated systems like tasks, for example, or recent documents. But what's not shown here is their other system integrations. So they can bring things through from Salesforce, for example. So they can show a list of clients that you might be working with. It's displayed in a widget, which is fairly simple. But as you click on each one, the rest of the page can change and absolutely develop your dashboard, depending on who you're looking at and what sort of related information you may need. So it can pull data through from a finance system to show the last budget you have for a particular client, or it could show you your latest travel and your expenses claims and whether it's been approved by your manager. And that sort of really flexible approach to integrations, allowing users to not care about what system it is that's behind the scenes, is something that we'd like to see more of, and is something that's maybe holding people back from that, oh, we can do everything approach. The integrations and actually just having that portal or meeting people where they're actually working is an area that's maybe still a little bit weaker. you wouldn't mind flicking over to my next two examples. So the next one is accessibility. I did a little bit of research around this because I wasn't sure what the statistics are, so bear with me while I read these out. So in the UK, at least 1 in 5 people have a long-term illness, impairment or disability, while in the US, 26% of adults have some type of disability. So that's a lot of people, and a lot of people who will be in the world of work or may have difficulties in the world of work. And although there are laws that have been introduced, particularly in Europe, to address accessibility needs, it's still something that we're finding is lacking across the products that we're looking at. And where we're looking at employee experience, every employee needs to have a good experience, and accessibility really is one of those areas that needs to be brought up to scratch. And Invotra have been doing this for many years. They have panel that looks after accessibility. They have a group of people from the disability community who come in and test their product and actually make sure that it works for them, which is a fantastic amount of effort to put in. And it'd be great to see vendors do something similar. And then the last one is around legacy features, which can often be forgotten. So we've seen a lot of new developments coming, which I'll talk about after the third question. And vendors have really focused in on developing shiny new features, trying to gain new clients, whilst some of those really important core legacy tools and features and capabilities have been left to get a little bit stale. This is particularly the case in admin areas. So Powell's a nice example here of how an admin experience can look really fresh and work very well as a front or an end user experience too. And we've seen kind of linked with that issues around customer service as well, where vendors are constantly going after new business. They're actually leaving some of their legacy customers to kind of languish a little bit and just deal with some of the features that are already there. And we want to see a little bit more balance coming to that, particularly to raise that level of standard of those really important core features, and then to address that ignoring of their past clients too. To really make sure that the experience then is good for new clients as well.
Awesome. Well, those are really great gaps. You know, sometimes it's the technology, sometimes it's the planning, right? How to use analytics, because each of these ones that you showed examples of both technological challenges are also sometimes not prioritized, right, by the business, and that leads to challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. And having the staff-based analytics, if you don't know what to do with them, then they're going to be too much for you. So absolutely, there is a degree of planning that needs to go in there as well.